Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd with my friends over at yarnspirations.com. This is the special edition of the Happy Holiday Throw. This is going to be a 6-part series. There are 5 sections that are shown in here that have a massive repeat, and then the 6th one will be the border. So today we're going to get ourselves started on part number 1. And part number 1 we're going to begin from rows number 1 through 12 doing the ripple pattern as you see. So what I wanted to do for myself is that I wanted to go through my collection. So this is using Red Heart Super Saver. I don't have a lot of that type of yarn here in stock. I have Caron 1 pound and I have Caron Simply Soft. So I noticed that there's 7 different colors. So what I had Daniel do is go through my yarn collection and be able to select the colors. Now because I went with Caron Simply Soft, I am using a 5mm size H crochet hook that will decrease the width and the length of this blanket. By how much I really don't know at this moment. So what I have here is a little bin of fun stuff. So let me show you. So here's my bin of fun stuff. I like these little bins. They're handy to have, and I've selected all my yarn and they're inside. So what I'm doing for myself is that I'm going to go through the yarn balls and I'm going to label up the colors. So for example a soft white, I'm doing an off white. So what I'm going to do on the ball bands, if there is ball bands, is that's going to be the color A. So when I'm just quickly looking at the pattern, if I just write down the colors on the ball bands, it's easier for me to be able to follow along. But I also did something on the pattern, so let's go back to that. So in the pattern what I did is that I have a tendency to overlook when the colors are being changed. So what I went through is that I went through the pattern and I highlighted all the coloring that was going to be happening here. So I noticed that each section basically has its own set of colors. So when we're, for example, in this lark's foot here that you see, I think it's only using 2 colors from what I can see visually here. So that's the kind of neat thing, so that when we're doing a section we're kind of just repeating a set number of colors but not the whole cycle of the 7 colors that are suggested. I also, because I changed the color, I did write down what my colors are here so that I have that just for further reference as well. So I believe, but I'm not 100% certain at this moment, but I believe that each one of these sections can be done as its own Afghan. It's coming down to 133 single crochets. So I believe that if you start the patterns off, if you wanted to do an individual blanket for each one, then if you just chain 134 and then do the first row, which is 1 single crochet, second chain from the hook, that brings you to 133. I believe that can be happening here. So what we're going to do is in this one here is that I'm going to take you through all of the different rows in each of the video series, and then I'm just going to stop. So ripple pattern we're going to do 1 through 12 only on this video, and then the next video, then part 2, will then have the next set which will be then 13 through 22. When you get to the end of this particular blanket, you're going to notice of the instructions is that we're going to get all the way here and it says repeat rows for rows 64 to 125. You're going to repeat rows 2nd to the 63rd. So you're going to go through all the instructions again. Once you have that done, then what's going to happen is that you're going to repeat rows number 2 through 12, which will be that chevron that you have, so you have the balanced look in this. And then at the end, then we're just going to add a border. So my point for this series is that we're going to take you through each one of the sections, and then you can just play back the videos if you need to for your own satisfaction if you have to, and then I will take you through the 6th video, which is the border. So without further ado, let's begin to get started, and let's start on part number 1 of rows number 1 through 12. So just to recap, it's recommending Red Heart Super Saver with a 6mm size J crochet hook because I am switching down to Caron Simply Soft. I am not changing the amount of stitches. I'm just keeping, it's just going to be a smaller blanket width and lengthwise, and I'm using a 5mm size H. So let's begin to do a slip knot, and let's start with chaining 134. I am doing the entire width here on camera, but I will not be filming the entire width. I'll just get you in the repeats as we go. So we're just going to chain, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way to 134. Maybe back here in just a moment. So now that I have my 134, I'm going to go second chain from the hook and just going in and just go the back hump only and do single crochet across. If you're substituting yarn in this case like I am, you'll be able to determine a rough size that your blanket will be the width of. You do have a small border to add to it, which will add probably an extra inch or so around the outside. So just to continue, 1 single crochet in each of the chains going across. Okay, and coming to the end of the chain, and I'm just applying 1 single crochet still in the back loop all the way to the end. You can verify if you have 133 stitches. Myself, I feel pretty confident, so I'm gonna keep on going. So let's turn our work and begin row number 2. So starting row number 2, this is where the repeat will start. When you come all the way back at the end of video number 5, you'll be coming back to the spot. Let's begin. We're going to continue with this color, color B, and we're going to then just single crochet in the first one. So chain 1 and single crochet into the first one. And then we're going to begin our repeat pattern from this point. So the very next stitch is going to be a half double crochet, and then the one after that is going to be a double crochet, and then the one after that is going to be 3 trebles in the same stitch. So wrapping the hook twice, going into the same stitch, okay, and then that's the top of the peak for the ripple. So then the very next stitch that you'll have after this one is going to be a double crochet, and then a half double crochet is next, and then a single. So you've just kind of cycled through to getting the starting of the ripple. So now that the single is already in, okay, so you want to continue. So we're gonna go back to the repeat to start. Then the repeat starts with the half double crochet, and then a double, and then 3 trebles into the next, and then we're gonna get smaller again. So the next one will be a double, and then a half, and then a single, and that will conclude that repeat. So you're gonna do that all the way across. This is row number 2. I'll see you at the end of the row. So I'm coming to the end of the row, and my stitch count happens to be right on. So no camera tricks, it's the real deal, and single crochet. So when you do the last one, we have to switch off to the color C. So when we go to pull through for the last single crochet, just hold in the last 2 loops. What I'm recommending, just put a slip knot, and you're gonna wanna hide in these loose ends. Put a slip knot on and finish it. So I do want to get rid of the other coloring that we have. So what I'm going to do is just show you one time here in this whole tutorial. So just cut the other strand. Okay, and so I want to put this onto a tapestry needle. Now you could technically weave it in and out, but I find that things fall out. So just pull that loop up just so you can get access to it. And make sure that when you do this, you're pulling it relatively tight so that you don't end up with any sloppy ends. So it looks right. So go through once in a slightly different path, twice, and then a third time is the charm. Takes a bit of time, but not too much. And that's it. So now you can safely cut that color down into the project, and it should never fall out on you. Also recommending that you, at this time, go back to the original strand that you had and also do the same thing, and then we'll continue on to row number 3 next. So let's begin row number 3. So right where I was, I'm just gonna turn my work. I want to keep the straggler of that color down on top of the line so I can trap it underneath. And let's begin. So just chain up 1, and in the beginning stitch where I am and in the next stitch you were going to apply a single crochet 2 together. So just going into that stitch, just going in, pull through, and then go into the next stitch that's available to you, and make sure you go right up over top of that straggler, and then you have 3 loops. Pull through all 3. So you're going to single crochet the next 2 that are in the row. So 1 and 2, and if you notice, that will help you visually, is that this one here, the next one, is the middle of that group of 3. So in that one you want to apply 3 single crochet, and that will allow it to turn to go down on the other side. So we came up and there was 2 leading to the top here, so that means that there's 2 single crochets in a row that will lead down to the next one. So the next 3, I'm gonna let that straggler now fall out. The next 3 are single crochet 3 together. So just going in, pull through, the next one, pull through, the next one, pull through, so all 3 in a row, and then pull through all 3. So do you remember how many it will take to get to the top one? It's just 2. So 1 and 2, and in that next one, which is the top, there's 3 single crochet. So 1, 2 and 3, and then the next 2 are by itself going down, and then the next 3 are at the bottom of the valley. So just pick up, so pick up the next 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and then pull through all 3 and then go up. So the next 2, and then you're at the top again. So 3 single crochet. So you're gonna see that you're gonna be waving up and down, and this is row number 3. I'll see you at the end of the row. So I'm coming up to the end of the row. I just did the 3 at the top, and you're gonna do the 2 going down, and then because it's the end of the row, you only have 2 stitches left, so you're gonna put the 2 together at the end, and that will conclude that one. So we're gonna keep this color going now for row number 4, and it says to repeat row number 3. So let's do row number 4 as row number 3. So we're gonna chain up 1, and we're gonna put the first 2 together. So we just did this, so I don't need to go into too much detail. And then you're gonna do 2 up, 1 and 2, and then at the top one, which is the middle of the grouping of the 3, is going to be 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 going down, and then the next 3 are together. So just going in, collecting all 3, and then 2 going up, and then 3 at the top one, which is the middle single crochet. So do this all the way across. This is row number 4, which is the repeat of row number 3. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 4. I'm just doing my 3 at the top, and then we're heading down for 2 in a row, and then you should have 2 stitches left, which I do. So we're gonna be switching to the color A at the end of this. So put the last 2 together like you did before, but when you go to do and pull through, make sure that you have the new color, and then I want you to bury it in either with the tapestry needle or weave it in, depending on how you want to approach that, and then pull through, and then turn your work and begin row number 5. So let's begin row number 5. We're going to chain 3, and the first one here is going to actually be a 2 together for a treble, but because we're chaining 3, this is how we're gonna start it. So going into the very next stitch that's available to you, I want you to treble and then pull through everything. So just like regular. So this beginning one, chaining 3 plus this one, acts as a 2 together. Just don't forget that. So like before, when we were going up and down, we're going to do this again, and we're gonna end up with a flat top, but we're going to fill in the spacing in between. So the next one is going to be a double crochet, and then the next one is going to be a half double, and the single that's gonna go in next should be in the middle one of the grouping of the 3 singles. So now we're gonna get bigger again. So you're gonna half double, and then you're going to double, and now the next 3 that are in the valley here are going to be a 3 together double crochet. So just, or sorry, 3 together treble crochet. So wrap twice, going in, pull through 2 and 2, and hold it. Don't finish it. Wrap twice, going into the next one, pull through 2 and 2, hold, and one more time. So you want those 3. Okay, and then you'll have 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4, and then work into the next one. So you're gonna get smaller again, so double crochet, and then the next one is a half, and then the next one, which is the middle one of that grouping of 3, is a single, and you can see that we're leveling off. So please do this all the way across. This is row number 5. So I'm coming up to the end of number 5, and I'm just getting bigger again. So half double crochet. So I was at the top, so half and then double, and then the final 2 are 2 together treble. Okay, so let's review on where we are, because the next 3 rows is the same color. So that's it. So let's turn. So rows number 6, 7, and so rows 6 and 7 that we're about to do, I've actually already have it done here just for a disclaimer, and what we're going to do is just straight single crochet back and forth across. So on row number 6 I'm just gonna give you a tip at the end of that row, and then just to make sure that you capture the right stitch, and then row number 7 is just a straight single crochet across. Then row number 8 we're going to do the mirror reflection of this and then go over, and then that's what we're going to do. So what I want you to do at this point now is just to do 6 and 7, just chain 1 single crochet across, and then chain 1 single crochet back. But in the meantime, here's a quick tip for you at the end of row number 6. As I come across row number 6, I'm just leaving this little tip here. Remember that the last one is a 2 together, and so you just go in there. So don't treat those two like they're separate, because they're not. It's a 2 together treble. Turn your work and then continue then. So 7 and 8. I just want to leave that there just in case. So we're now going to continue with row number 8, which is the same as row number 2. So remember how you did it here? That's what you're doing here, but with the white. So you're just gonna single crochet, if you recall, and just chain 1 and single crochet in the first one, and then get bigger again. I'm not gonna go too hard in detail here. At 1/2, and then the next one is a double, and then the next one, if you recall, was 3 trebles. So 1, I know it's white on white, it's kinda hard to see. Okay, and then getting smaller, so 1 double in the next, and then a half, and then a single. And I want you to do that all the way across. Isn't that awesome? And that's what we're going to do at this time. So I'll see you at the end of row number 8. So I'm coming up to the end of row number 8, and I'm just following the pattern as I know it. So that was a half, and then the last one is a single. But I'm not gonna finish this color. I'm going to switch off now to the color C, and then do 2 rows of repeating row 3. So let's get rid of this color and switch off to color C as in cat. So rows 9 and 10 are both the same, but the end of row number 10 we're gonna switch off to the color B. So 2 rows of this color, and it's exactly what you did here. So okay, so if you recall, when we go to do that, it says repeat row number 3. So chain up 1, and in the first one and the next it's gonna be 2 together. And do you remember how many it took to get up to the top? It was just 2 single crochet. So the top one is the middle one of the grouping of 3, and there's 3 single crochet in there. 1, 2, 3, and then coming down there's 2 in a row. And if you recall, then the middle one, it's gonna be 3 together. So what I want you to do is that I want you to go and do this row, and then go and do it again, row number 3. The difference is that you're going into the single crochets and not to these mixing here. And then just to recap, as we come across on row number 9, don't forget the last 2 are 2 together for single crochet like you had done before. I just want to make sure that's in this video. So let's turn and do row number 10, which is the exact same thing what you just did. So just chain up 1, put the first 2 together, and etc., and continue all the way. I'll see you at the end of row number 10. So just come up all the way on the end of number 10. I did switch my color. Remember the last 2 were 2 together single crochet. So I just switched that off. I'm gonna weave in my ends later. So let's begin row number 11, which is the same as row number 5. And if you recall, row number 5 we're gonna fill in those spots just like you see here. Okay, that's what we're gonna do with this color here. So we're gonna chain up 3 if you recall. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to treble into the next one. And I am going to put my straggler down of the same color, and then just treble. So that will be counted as a 2 together treble. So now we're gonna get smaller, and it's a double crochet, and then the next one is a half, and then the middle one here is a single. Then we're gonna get bigger again, so it's gonna be half, and then a double, and then it's 3 together trebles. So wrapping twice, you're just going in, and don't finish it. Okay, and then once you have all 3 done, you'll have 4 loops in the hook, pull through all 4, and then you're gonna get smaller again. So it'll be a double, a half, and the top one is a single. And I want you to do that all the way across for row number 11. We just have one more row to do. for today's tutorial, and you see everything's working out really quite pretty. So let's begin. Let's continue to the end of this row, and then we'll do number 12 together and finish off for today. So I'm coming all the way across, and I'm just on the end of row number 11, and I'm just expanding back out to get bigger, and then the last two is 2 together treble. Okay, one more row in today's video, and let's just turn our work and begin row number 12. So row number 12, when we go to start, we're just gonna chain up 1 and just do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going all the way across. When you get to the other side, I want you to switch your color to the color D as in dog, and then we're gonna be pausing here and we'll move on to the next video, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be doing a recap once we get to the end, and let's just review where we are, and we'll continue from that point. So I'm at the end of row number 12, and I'm just going to switch it off to the color D, and this is where we're going to leave you today, and just fasten off your original strand that you had, and then we'll go on in the next video and we'll do then rows number 13 to 22 next. So let's just go back to the pattern and see where we are, because you have to do this section 3 times. You'll notice that there's a good side and the wrong side. This is the wrong side. See the good side? Nice and clean. So let's continue to look at the pattern one more time. So when you look at the pattern, we have ourselves getting started, and then we're gonna do the next section. So this pattern right here, you cannot hardly see it, but it is actually duplicated right here. So this is the starting again of rows number 2 through 63. Then you're going to, once you do that a second time, the very final piece at the end is this section one more time, 2 through 12. So this particular video that you're on, you'll have to do it 3 times. So we're once through, and then a second time, and then a third time is a charm. So that's where we are, and we'll continue on into the next video. So until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. It's with my friends over at yarnspirations.com.